Do you remember your Valentine's Day parties in elementary school? Do you remember the cards you gave your classmates and the cards you received? Do you remember all the awesome treats and games you got to play? Well, Room 9 is about to experience their first ever Valentine's Day party. My name is Samantha West, and I'm going to read to you Junie B. Jones and the Mushy Gushy Valentime by Barbara Park. Chapter 1, Party Ideas. My name is Junie B. Jones. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all. I go to school in Room 9. Room 9 is where they have afternoon kindergarten. Also, they have morning kindergarten, only I'm not familiar with that arrangement. Today at school, my teacher had an announcement to make. Announcement is a school word for listen to me. And I mean it. My teacher's name is Miss. She has another name too, but I just like Miss, and that's all. Miss told us that we were going to have a special day in Room 9, and it's called Valentine's Day. She said that Valentines are special cards about friendship, and all of us in Room 9 are going to give them to each other. My bestest friend Lucille squealed real happy. Ooh, I love getting cards, teacher, she said. I especially love getting the kind with money in them. Money is my favorite kind of mail. Me too, Lucille, I said. Money is my favorite kind of mail too. Plus, also I enjoy the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. Miss did a chuckle. Well, I'm sorry, girls. I'm afraid there won't be money in our Valentines. In Room 9, we will just be sending happy wishes to each other, but it will still be lots of fun. She smiled. We will make a special Valentine's box to hold all the cards, and on the day of our party, I will personally deliver the cards to each one of you, she explained. Just then, I jumped right out of my chair, because nobody ever mentioned a party before. Hooray, I yelled. Hooray for parties! Can we have cake and donuts, miss? And what about cheese popcorn and cotton candy and pretzels and candy apples? I thought some more. Plus, also we'll need red licorice and peanut butter cups probably. And chocolate-covered raisins. Oh yeah, and malted milk balls. And gummy bears! I looked over at her. Maybe you should be writing this down, I said. Miss shook her head no. She said we would have cupcakes, punch, and candy hearts. I sat back down very disappointed, because not much thought went into that menu, that's why. Lucille stood up. What kind of punch, teacher? She asked. Will it have fresh raspberries and strawberries floating in it? My Nana's caterer always puts fresh raspberries and strawberries into our punch, and it is delicious. After that, Lucille twirled around in her fluffy dress. And what about dancing? I am learning ballroom dancing at my expensive dancing school, and so I would be happy to teach the children who are cheaper than me. Miss stared at Lucille for a long time. How generous of you, she said finally, but I don't think we'll be having ballroom dancing, Lucille. Jamal Hall waved his hand in the air. Then what about a puppet show, he asked. If we can't have dancing, can we have a puppet show? Yeah, said a girl named Lenny. Or else maybe we could hire a magician? Or what about a wild animal act? Asked a boy named Roger, like a grizzly bear or a sea lion. Just then, a boy named Polly Allen Puffer ran right up to the front of the room, and he jumped up and down all over the place. No, wait, I've got it, he shouted real excited. We could get some of those jugglers who juggle chainsaws. After that, Room 9 clapped and whistled and hooted and hollered. Because who doesn't love chainsaw jugglers? That's what I would like to know. After we finished clapping, we looked at Miss. Her head was on her desk, and her eyes were staring out the door. Then all of the children in Room 9 got very quiet, because Miss was scaring us a little bit. Plus, also, we were out of party ideas. Chapter 2, Scribble Scraps. The next day, me and my bestest friend named Grace were playing on the playground, and guess what? We saw Miss carry a giant box into Room 9. It was a box we were going to decorate for Valentine's Day, I think. Wowie, wow, wow, that thing will hold 1,000,000 bajillion Valentine's cards, I said real thrilled. That Grace did a frown at me. Stop saying Valentine, Junie B. You keep on saying Valentine with an M sound. And you were supposed to say Valentine with an N sound. I did a frown back at her. Who said so? I asked Grace. I said so, said Grace. Didn't you hear my voice? I just got finished telling you it has an N in it. The word is Valentine. I did a huffy breath at that girl. You are not the boss of my words, Grace, she said. This is a free country, and if I want to say Valentine, I can, and I will not even go to jail. That Grace looked a little annoyed at me. I didn't say you would go to jail, Junie B, she said. I just wish you would say the word correctly. That's all. Yeah, well, we can't always have what we wish for, Grace, I told her. I wish Valentine had an M in it, but it doesn't, does it? After that, me and Grace made squinty eyes at each other. Plus, also, we crossed our arms, and we tapped our angry feet. Only pretty soon, we got tired of that, because fighting with your friends is not that fun. That's how come both of us hugged each other, and we said apology. Sorry, Junie B, said Grace. Sorry I tried to be the boss of your words. Sorry, Grace, I said. Sorry Valentime doesn't have an M in it. After that, both of us holded hands, and we skipped all the way to room 9. That is called a victory skip. And guess what else? After we got to room 9, Miss said it was time to decorate the Valentine's box. Everybody quick sat down in their seats. Then we watched Miss cover the box with shiny white paper. Plus also she caught a mail slot in the top. After that, all the children got out scissors, and we cut out paper hearts to paste on the sides. I cut my fastest. Miss, look, I said. I'm already done cutting my heart, so I have the fastest scissors in room 9, probably. Just then, a meanie boy named Jim jumped up from his chair. No, you don't. Look over here. I already cut 2 hearts. See? 1, 2. So ha-ha on you, he said. I quick cut another heart. Yeah, well now I have 2 too. And so you are not the winner anymore, meanie Jim. Jim held up one more. 3, he yelled. I just cut number 3, so I'm still ahead of you. I made my scissors go speedy fast. Ha, now I have 3 too. So there, I said. Jim did a fast snip. 4, I'm up to 4, he said. That's how come I got frustration inside of me. Stop it, Jim. Stop cutting so fast, and I mean it. After that, I tried to cut one more heart, but my scissors went very out of control, and my heart turned out like scribble scraps. Darn it! Now look what you made me do, I hollered real mad. All of a sudden, a big hand came flying over the top of my head, and it snatched my scissors right off my fingers. I bended my head back to see who it was. It was Miss. I did a gulp. I was afraid it was you, I said kind of soft. Then Miss went to Jim's table, and she snatched his scissors too. So me and him had to sit in our chairs for the rest of the day, and we didn't get to decorate the Valentine's box. Because our cutting days were over, that's why, and our pasting days never even got started. Chapter 3, Picking Valentines. The Valentine's box turned out to be beautiful. After it was finished, Miss passed out the list for us to take home. The list had the names of all the children in room 9. There are 18 children in our class, said Miss, so that means everyone needs to bring 18 Valentines. I raised my hand. Do we bring Valentines for ourselves, too? I asked her. Well, no, she said. I mean, there's no rule against it, I suppose, but Valentines are supposed to be given to others. She thought for a second. Oops, I guess it means I made a mistake, doesn't it? Since you won't be bringing cards for yourselves, you will only need to bring in 17 Valentines. I raised up my hand again. Yeah, only what if we also want to bring a Valentine for you, Miss? I asked. Miss raised up her eyebrows. Well, then you would be back up to 18 again, wouldn't you? She said. 17 plus 1 equals 18. I tapped on my chin. Yeah, only what if there's people in here who we don't actually like that much? Do we have to bring them a Valentine too? Yes, Junie B, she said. Of course you do. Valentine's Day is a day of friendship for everyone. So every single boy and girl in room 9 will bring a card for every other boy and girl. After Miss finished explaining, she sat back down at her desk. I zoomed up there and whispered in her ear. Yeah, only I know I have to bring cards to regular boys and girls, I said real soft. But I don't have to bring cards to the big, fat, stinky heads, do I? All of a sudden, Miss throwed her arms in the air. Yes, Junie B, yes, you do, she said. For the last time, you will bring a card for everyone in room 9, even the big, fat, stinky heads. Just then, all of room 9 looked at her. Because teachers are not supposed to say big, fat, stinky heads, I think. After that, Miss closed her eyes for a really long time. Then finally, she stood up very slow, and she went to the sink, and she took an aspirin. The next day was Saturday, and it was the funnest Saturday ever, because Daddy took me to the drugstore, and he bought me a beautiful heart antennas for my head. Plus also, he let me pick out my very own box of chocolates. After we got home, Mother helped me pick out perfect cards for every person in room 9. First, I picked out a card for my bestest friend, Lucille. It had a lovely princess on the front of it. This one, Mother, I said. I will give Lucille this one. Because when she grows up, she's going to marry an expensive prince, and she's going to let me and Grace sweep her castle. Plus also, we will get to wear her raggedy, used-up gowns. Mother looked at me. Lucille is a regular saint, she said very quiet. I know it, I said. Me and Grace are lucky to have her. After that, I found the perfect card for Grace, too. It had 2 running shoes on the front of it. Mother read me the words. It said, Valentine, you and I make the perfect pair. We do, Mother. Me and that Grace do make the perfect pair, because Grace can beat me at running, and I can beat Grace at lots of other stuff.